Hello viewers, today we are going to see about risk assessment methodology. The first step of the risk assessment is identify the hazard. Before undertaking any activity, the hazards have to be identified by persons competent to recognize them, using experience, training, information from review and improvement processes, consideration of materials, plant or equipment, including degradation over time, consideration of risk of human error and any other factors that can introduce hazard or risk into the activity. Hazard identification should consider the following things: routine and non-routine activities. Activities of all persons having access to the workplace, including contractors and visitors. Human behavior, capabilities and other human factors. Identified hazards originating outside the workplace capable of adversely affecting the health and safety of persons during the task. Hazards created in the vicinity of the workplace by work-related activities under the control of company. Infrastructure, equipment and materials at the workplace, whether provided by company or others. Changes or proposed changes in the organization of your company, its activities, or materials. Modification to the HSE management system, including temporary changes, and their impacts on operations, processes and activities. Any applicable legal obligations relating to risk assessment and implementation of necessary controls. The design of work areas, processes, installations, machinery, equipment, operating procedures and work organization, including their adaptation to human capabilities. Mobilization, demobilization, driving and travel activities. Any manual handling operations required as part of the activity. Situations requiring special considerations, for example young persons, expectant mothers. Please note that the wearing of jewelry and/or body piercings could in some circumstances create a hazard, or increase the severity if an injury occurs. The risk assessment process and control measures should therefore consider the potential need to remove such items before starting work. The second step of risk assessment is to decide who might be at risk. Determine whether the hazards identified could affect the employee, subcontractor, member of the public, a visitor or other person, and consider how they might be harmed. The third step of the risk assessment is evaluate the risk. An assessment of the likelihood and severity of any identified harm occurring is necessary. Likelihood. The assessment of likelihood must also take into consideration the frequency with which exposure will take place. The factors affecting the analysis of likelihood are: A. The number of times the situation occurs. B. Position of hazard. C. Distractions. D. Duration of exposure. E. Lighting. F. Quantities of materials involved. G. Environmental conditions. H. Competence of people involved. I. Condition of equipment. The other important factors to take into account are the control measures already provided, or to be provided. However, in analyzing the likelihood of harm, it will be necessary to take into account the possibility of the control measures not being used because of human error, lack of maintenance, difficulty in compliance, complexity, etc. We see how to consider likelihood through a table. Highly improbable means so unlikely that probability is close to zero. Improbable means conceivable but unlikely to occur, comprehensive controls in place. Possible means likely to occur sometime, some controls but not comprehensive. Probable means occurrence not surprising, may occur more than once, controls in place but not comprehensive. Highly probable means occurrence inevitable, may occur many times, no controls. Severity. When considering how severe the harm from a hazard could be, it is important to be realistic. The following scale should be used. Insignificant means so insignificant that severity is considered to be close to zero. Injury may occur, but not requiring first aid treatment, for example bruise. No time away from the job. Minor injury means minor injury, simple first aid may be necessary. Some time away from the job may be required for treatment but only on the same day as injury. Lost time injury means a minor injury that results in 1 or more days away from work, in addition to the day of the incident. Major injury means injury or illness that is typically recordable or reportable under local legislation, but not causing permanent disability. Examples of major injuries or illnesses could include a fractured bone, dislocation, temporary loss of sight, or reportable disease such as leptospirosis. Determine the risk rating. The next stage is to multiply the severity number by the likelihood number to arrive at a risk rating for each hazard. This can be represented in the table below. Please refer this risk rating matrix for determining the risk level. Always remind that risk equals probability severity. Use the risk rating. The next step is to determine whether the level of risk is tolerable or unacceptably high to warrant some corrective action. Subscribe our YouTube channel for more safety training videos. Thank you.